Hello, my name is Betty, and this is your weekly astrological guide for the week of February the 7th through the 14th. Today I am basically mostly going to speak with you about the full moon eclipse that we are going to be having on February 10th. That is when the sun is going to be at 22 degrees of Aquarius and the moon is going to be at 22 degrees of Leo. So I have a couple of things that I wanted to bring to your attention. So I'm going to do that now in the beginning so then I can just keep talking and you can follow along. And of course, if any of this is interesting to you, you can always Google it and learn more on your own. I'll also put some links in the description below to some videos and pages that can help you explore this information if you are interested in doing this. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about sacred geometry. I'm just going to touch on it because it's extremely interesting. The harmonic pattern for the 10th, which is the eclipse, is this. Yeah, I hope you can see it. I'm going to try to also put it up maybe at the end of the video, leave it up there for a little bit, take a snapshot. Okay, but this is, I hope you can see this. There's a star, okay? Can you see the star? There's the star that's created by the Grand Trine in fire, which is creativity. So there's the Grand Trine in fire. There's also, it's the opposition between the sun and the moon. Okay, there's that. And I also, since I'm going to show you this too, and then I'm going to explain it to you. There's also a kite formation here. I'm not going to go into too much about the kite formation. I'm going to stick to basically the star, but I'm going to mention it, so I'm just showing it to you. And then I'm also going to be talking about, the star, the tarot card for the star, which coincidentally represents the astrological sign of Aquarius. So I hope you can see that. If you can't, you can always just Google. It's the Rider-Waite deck for tarot, the star, and it corresponds with the sign of Aquarius. And I'm going to get into that. I wrote this down because I wanted to make sure that I communicated it correctly. So what I showed you is a star tetrahedron. It is a form in sacred geometry. And so this is what I wanted to say to you guys about this, because it's just kept coming to me when I was thinking about what I wanted to say, and it's just extremely fascinating. So it's two tetrahedrons together that forms the star. It's also known as the Merkaba, which is the vehicle of light. The ancient Egyptians used to call, basically we are the Merkaba. We are the vehicle of light. So the star tetrahedron, also known as the Merkaba, vehicle of light, represents the innermost law of the physical world and the inseparable relationship between the two complementary halves, the positive and the negative, the manifest and the unmanifest, which form a perfect equilibrium. In creation, they rule as two opposite laws, the law of spirit and the law of matter. Spirit is life. The law of spirit is radiation, giving, selflessness. Matter is resistance. The law of matter is drawing inward, cooling off, and solidification. So basically what I wanted to talk to you is the formation that this eclipse is presenting us is that of incredible possibilities, because it's reminding us to step into our own vibration with the Leo moon. That's stepping into our own heart center. When a baby is created in the womb, the first thing that forms, the first organ that forms, is the heart, and that's the sun. So that we, like as above, so below. So the heart corresponds with the sun. We, as humans, everything revolves around our sun, our heart. So this full moon eclipse is really, in my opinion, calling for everybody to get more centered. There's a lot of change that needs to be made, and that's great. And, we need to raise the vibration, but to do that, we need to do it. You have to start at home. You have to start within your own self. So that's raising our vibration, getting into our heart space, and, living our truth expanding on who we are and the gifts that we have, raising our vibration, and in doing so, that's how we gift to society. Aquarius, the sun in Aquarius. So taking our personal values, our gifts, what we came here, and then, using that, feeding that, living it, loving it, accepting that, and then bringing it into society. And that's how to heal society as a whole. I wanted to talk to you about what an eclipse means. An eclipse just simply means that the sun and the moon, if it's a full moon eclipse where they're opposing each other, that means that they're both close to the nodes. And if we're going to have one in Pisces at the end of the month, which we'll talk about next week, it's going to be even closer, because this eclipse is 12 degrees away from the nodes. It's a partial eclipse. The thing, when I showed you the kite, the reason I showed you the kite, because the kite suggests fate, and the nodes suggest fate. So that's the reason I showed you the kite as well, to lend to that this is a fateful time. But it's also showing us with the star that it's time for us to use our higher vibration, to spirit, to realize that we are spirit and we are co-creators. And to manifest, we have to get in tune with our higher divinity, with our spirit. What's interesting about eclipses is that they are called fateful. I don't really love the term fateful. When I say it, I use it loosely as it's an event that needs to occur. What that outcome is, I don't believe is already written in the stars. So when you say fate, it implies that this is the way that it is no matter what you do. In your natal chart, your north node certainly would imply why you came here, and that you need to work towards that north node to satisfy the incarnation. So I don't want to jump all over the place. Basically, when the eclipses, what causes an eclipse is that they are near to the nodes of fate, the dragon's tail. So this is going to, but I don't want to scare you, because this is also a wonderful time. With the Grand Trine and Fire, this is inspiration, this is spirit, this is getting in tune with our higher selves and bringing that down. Now, this full moon is an eclipse, so it's going to block out the light of the moon, which normally it reveals our intentions and how we're feeling about things. But this is going to block it out. It's going to be a darkness. So we're going to be able to see what's behind it. And it sounds a little bit scary, and it's not exactly comfortable, but the beauty in this is you have to step back and look at the big picture, because the beauty in this is it's going to show you where you're blocked. We can't manifest, we can't create, we cannot be divine light beings if we're angry or scared or caught in any of these lower level vibrations, because to align with our creative potential, we need to be vibrating high. We need to be, in the flow. And to be in the flow, you have to have faith and you have to trust, and you can't do that when you're scared or angry or jealous or any of the lower level emotions that we all feel. It's not a judgment. It's just an explanation of what's happening. So this is going to serve to show you, where are you blocked? This is going to bring about, eclipses bring about events. They're endings and beginnings. And since the sun and the moon are involved, a lot of it is going to revolve around relationships. So you don't have to get scared. It doesn't mean that a relationship will have to come to an end. That doesn't have to mean that, but there could be a dynamic in the relationship that will come to an end, because you may be being blocked. Maybe you're not giving enough to yourself. Maybe you're not developing your gifts enough because you're giving too much to your partner, to your children, to your family, to your job, to your dog, to whatever. That you're just giving, you're cutting yourself off from your flow, and that's no good. And I know that sometimes we think we're doing the right thing. Well, I'm being selfless and I'm giving more to this person, but really, there's a resentment. There's a resentment in there, and it's okay to admit that. When we're unbalanced and uneven and the flow is too much directed outward, we're really no good to anybody. So this full moon is going to bring attention to where are we cutting ourselves off from the flow? Where are we blocked? And it might be a little bit painful. With the Grand Trine and Fire, Mars and Venus are in Aries, Uranus and Eris are in Aries. Okay, so this creates a lot of action. Let's get this done. Let's do it. I'm sick of sitting around. Let's just make some things happen. So there's a lot of that forward motion. Everybody's out there and running around and you know, stating their case and let's make some action, which is fantastic, but you want to use the Aries energy in a more mature way instead of just running off half-cocked. I'm sick of things being the way they are, I'm going to do this. Well, this energy is really calling us to get in center, get in tune, get in line. Remember that we are spiritual. We came down here to this dimension, to this frequency that vibrates lower for whatever reasons, to learn, to realize, but we're only here for a very small amount of time. We're going to be spirit forever and always have been and always will be. So this energy is showing us that we need to align with the higher vibration, lower our defenses, get in touch with the higher frequency, with the, this is an amazing time to do some meditation on. This is time to be alone, to contemplate, to realize there's going to be some things that pop up that maybe we don't really want to see, and that's okay, but we're going to have to take a look at them honestly and find a way to transmute them, to release them. If we want to step into what this time, we all came here, this is changing of an age. It's not new age, maybe it is a new age coming, but there's nothing new about what is happening here. The ages are changing. So as souls, we agreed to incarnate into this time. This is not an easy time. If you look back through history, the changing of the gate, the changing of the ages is always a difficult time in history. It's not a smooth flow. So we came here, a lot of light workers, a lot of higher vibrational people came here to help, to show, to be, to guide to the water bearer, to Aquarius, where everyone is equal and everybody is eternal. And so in doing so, we're breaking down the old Piscean age. So there's a lot of conflict. I'm not going to get too deep into that right now. But just remember, in general, we came here for a reason. So when I say fate, I don't want to make it like, oh, you're fated in your horoscope that you're either going to be poor, and there's nothing you're ever going to do that's going to change it. I don't believe that. And like I said, I'm not going to get very far into that. But fated, in the sense that I'm talking about it right now, means that there's an event that is going to occur. There's things that are occurring. And it's not yet set in stone because we do have the ability to co-create. So basically, in doing so, the best thing you can do for the universe, the best thing you can do for yourself, for your causes, for anything that you feel passionate about, is to get in tune with yourself, to align with your higher spiritual principles. To fire is one of the highest on the elements. It is light. So this is inspiration. This is dynamic. This is, fire. The star card for the tarot is divine inspiration. It's not yet action, but it's divine inspiration. And the star, it's showing us that divine inspiration is the way through this, out of this, and for all. So please do not, this energy can cause people to get polarized. And anytime you're fanatical about anything, it's not good, because then you shut down. We don't want to shut down the communication. I believe in my heart that Facebook is extremely damaging, more damaging than it is, in the beginning it's fun, you get to connect with people, that you knew from kindergarten. Oh, isn't this wonderful? But basically, people at the Facebook, when they go on there, it's just, people go on there and then you can just, it's a bit of a coward's way out, in my opinion, because you go on there and you talk so tough and you insult everybody, and then you log off. And anybody who doesn't agree with you, well, then they're just a jerk. This is not lending to healing anything, okay? In name calling and being polarized is not fixing anything. We need to have an open dialogue. So the Leo and the Aquarius axis, is my gifts, our gifts, and it's bringing together and it's talking. Now we also have Venus is at 5 degrees of Aries, and she's sextiling Mercury, which has just entered into Aquarius. This will be on the eclipse. I'm talking about the eclipse energy. This is a nice communication. This is being able to communicate kindly, with an open mind. It's going to help a little bit that Mercury has left Capricorn. Capricorn is an earth sign. It vibrates at a lower frequency, and there's nothing good or bad. There's nothing, it just is what it is. It's of the earth, it's denser. So now when Mercury goes into Aquarius, Mercury likes to be in Aquarius. It's more detached. It's air. It flows. You can see. So this is communicating from the heart. And, with the Venus in Aries, it doesn't have to be sugar-coated. Not at all. But it is also Venus. So it's going to be a little more eloquent. And so it's communicating the differences without just getting on there and naming the differences and then signing off. And everybody who doesn't agree with you is a jerk. That's not what it, there has to be an open dialogue, a communication. Okay, how do you see things? How do I see things? Let's work together. So this is calling for a merging of communication and dropping the judgments and the blaming. It doesn't matter what's happened before or we're here right now and we need to fix this. So how do we fix things? So this energy has tremendous potential to lend to bringing together a community with Aquarius. And the sun is going to be sextiling Uranus at 21 degrees of Aries. Okay, that's trining Saturn. That's part of this grand trine. The moon is in the grand trine in Leo. That's the fire grand trine. Uranus and Saturn, they're in a great aspect to each other. So Saturn is the manifester. And then Uranus is different. It's genius, it's brilliant, it's thinking outside of the box. So it's just getting all of these energies together. So what we need to do as humans is basically work on ourselves and realize that we're all connected. And if you're in a vibration, if you're in any state of anger, fear, jealousy, any of the lower, then you're not doing your job and you're not holding your own and you're just your problem. Basically, no offense, no judgment, we all do it, okay? But if you find yourself in a lower level feeling, if you're feeling angry, depressed, sad, any of these things, then this eclipse is going to show you what's causing that. Where am I stuck? Where am I putting my time? Where have I committed myself? Where have I overextended myself? This eclipse is going to show you that. With all this fire, it's going to give us the courage to look at that and to release it and to realize that to be the best we can and to help society, to help the world, we need to help ourselves, and that means that we need to be in the flow and we need to be peaceful. Not to say that there aren't things in your life that are going to be annoying. Yeah, as a parent, you got the kids, you got the husband, the wife, the friends. I'm not saying to release every relationship that's somewhat annoying, but something that continuously causes stress and aggravation and takes you out of your higher vibration. That's something that you're really going to need to think about. How can I transform this? If this can't be transformed, then maybe it's not my highest and best, and we need to release this. This is going to bring a lot of attention to this. I don't know how much action is going to be taken right now when we have the new moon in Pisces. That's going to be a lot closer to the nodes. So that's going to be a new beginning in Pisces. So that's a lot of releasing. So right now is the time to bring your attention to what is blocking you, what's keeping you out of the flow, what's keeping you out of your divine grace. Because if you're out of sync, you're no good to anybody. And right now in the world, we all need to be present and to love everybody, even if we don't understand them, to realize even the person that is the polar opposite of us and represents everything that we find disgusting, that's a judgment. We have to realize that that's one. We're one with everybody, whether we like it or not. And we wouldn't be able to recognize ourselves or to honor ourselves if there wasn't contrast. So in this reality that we're in now, there's contrast. Because if there wasn't black, white, night, day, good, bad, then there would be nothing to compare. So that's really why we're here. Not to hate the differences, to appreciate them, because they give us perspective. We would not know ourselves if we did not know ourselves in relation to the other. So I hope that this helped. I hope I wasn't all over the place. But basically what I want you to know is that the full moon eclipse is going to show you some things that you may not want to see. You have to be courageous. And like I said, it doesn't mean you have to release everything or don't do anything drastic and get a divorce or whatever, run off to, a retreat in the woods. This is just a time to be aware. So be aware, and then you can go forward. They're emotional. So don't, you're going to be careful because, on the 10th and the whole weekend, it's going to be Friday around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is going to be when this eclipse happens. The energy goes for about 6 months, okay? And then wait till we start talking about the eclipses that are going to be happening in August. Those are totally faithful. They're right on the nodes. So I don't want to jump too far ahead. I want to stay one. Okay, but what I basically would love, my main goal of this talk is to realize, I want everybody to realize with this star tetrahedron energy, get in touch with your spiritual self. We came here, we formed this physical body to act out our higher frequency, our higher vibration, and to remember that we are divine. So this energy is beautiful for getting in touch with that. Don't be afraid of what you see. Don't be afraid of the darkness. Don't be afraid of what is shown to you at this eclipse, because just send it love and have faith and know that we are so strong and we are so divine and we are so wise. And if something isn't meant for us, we need to release it. So until next week, I wish you well. Don't forget to do your meditations for the new moon. And thank you for watching.